Hello there, it's Tania Gabrielle, Wealth Astro-Numerologist. Welcome to Star Codes, the podcast where we look at an upcoming event and navigate it with a lot more positivity and goodness and wisdom as a result. And in this case, it is a very big event indeed. In fact, it really ties into the beginning of this decade and so much more. And that is that both Saturn and Pluto, slow-moving planets, are changing signs within 2 weeks of each other. Now, it takes Pluto between 10 and 20 years or so, sometimes even longer, to navigate through a sign in the zodiac, because the cycle for Pluto is about 248 years around all 12 signs. Now, Saturn, it takes around 29 or so years, between 28 and 30, so still very slow moving. So when these two planets change signs at the same time, they're both at 29 degrees at the same time, and they're both at 0 degrees, which is the next new sign, at the same time. And in this case, the 29 degrees activation, which is always the final degree of any sign, because every sign has 30 degrees, 30 times 12 equals 360 degrees, which is the circle. So 29 degrees is always the critical final degree. They will both be at their respective 29 degree positions from February 26th, 27th, depending on where you live, through March 7th, when Saturn changes signs from Aquarius to Pisces. And then Pluto continues the 29 degrees placement until March 23rd. So let's look at, first of all, the last really big event between these two planets, which was the conjunction on January 12th, 2020. If you remember, the big stellium with Pluto, Saturn, Sun, and Mercury happened right as we began the decade, and of course, changed everything. We all know that. So that was a little over 3 years ago. And that stellium between these planets had not happened in Capricorn in 500 years. So Saturn and Pluto coming together at the beginning of this decade was a major, major push again for all of us to find out where are we being pushed to our limits and feel limited, right? So now, since Pluto is leaving Capricorn and Saturn rules Capricorn, and Capricorn was the sign where originally this stellium took place in 2020 between these two planets, this is a really big deal. So where's Pluto moving? Into Aquarius. And Aquarius is the sign of freedom. Where is Saturn currently? In Aquarius until March 7th. So Saturn is leaving Aquarius and Pluto's coming right back in. So that means Aquarius is a sign that needs to really be on the forefront. What does Aquarius rule? Community, the collective, what you feel about how you want to live in the future. So everything to do with your dreams and aspirations. It has to do with freedom, with breaking up, breaking away, creating breakthroughs. So it is truly a sign of awakening. And Aquarius governs astrology and numerology. It governs the esoteric arts in many ways, because Aquarius is connected to codes, to genius, to frequency, and looking at going beyond our limited mind and being unlimited. And so now we've reached a point where we are getting our bearings and we're realizing, okay, what can I rely on? I can only rely on how I feel in the midst of all this change. And with Pluto and Saturn, what it really is about is your power to determine your own reality. Saturn is about reality, Pluto is about power. So if you can remember that this is truly about your power to determine your reality, that is the biggest takeaway. So this is about, first of all, your reality. Where are you being authentic? What is your authentic self? That means addressing both your fears and your dreams, not leaving one out, right? You need experience of both in order to create a sense of This is what I want to walk towards, and this is what I want to relinquish from my life. So the only way to choose is to have experience with both your shadow and your light. So now you know you have the power to determine where you want to go energetically. And you have the patience to nurture and watch your intentions grow. So if you liken it to a garden and you are planting seeds, you don't immediately see the plants, the little shoots come out of the ground. You have to water, you have to nurture, there needs to be sun. It takes time. And Saturn governs timing. Saturn governs patience. And Saturn is time. Saturn is Chronos. So Saturn in Pisces, moving into Pisces on March 7th, puts your focus on divine timing. That there are auspicious times to plant seeds, like the beginning of spring or right before spring begins. And then there are times not to plant. And if you jump the gun and ignore the natural flow, the divine timing, the natural timing, you miss the best and most opportune opening for your intentions, your dreams to flower, just like with gardening. So your garden thrives when you listen to the natural rhythms of nature, of the divine. So your garden outside thrives when you listen to the natural rhythms of nature, and your inner garden thrives when you listen to the natural rhythms of divine. So the divine is literally part of this important moment, because everything that you seed now is literally going to flower. You will see the results. You have dreams, you have visions. These are very important. And divine timing now is giving you the tools and the patience and the resources to nurture those dreams and visions. And that is how you sustain your sanity, your joy, your love, just like the sun and rain and love and nurturing of nature sustains our plants and wildlife. So keep in mind that you do attract energies that match your intentions. So be aware of what you are sending out in terms of what your intentions are. This is really the key, because when you are not aware of what you're focusing on, it will still manifest. It'll actualize. And so it's very important to be very aware. Now let's look at Pluto for a moment, because when we are out of sync, what we tend to do is either give our power away or want power over others. To be in the flow, to be immersed in goodness, to have a good time doesn't mean you have to have power over others. It just means you need to feel the courage within your heart. There's a big difference. And Pluto going into Aquarius is going to set you free from those old stagnant habits of thinking that you need to know before you act, that you cannot just intuit and trust to move forward. Pluto is the truth. And when Pluto moves into Aquarius, Aquarius is about being inspired. When Pluto moves into Aquarius, you are going to receive the truth in unexpected ways. It will come from many different angles. And if you choose to avoid the truth, which will be both shadow and light, and you choose to avoid the shadow, then you will feel disempowered, or you will disempower others. Because that energy of Pluto has to go somewhere. It's being freed up now. Pluto in Capricorn was all about tearing down the major structures that we have put all our trust in, and forgotten that we need to put the trust here in our heart. And now that Pluto's moving into Aquarius, the water bearer, we're being shown the wisdom that's within us through inspiration and intuition that leads us to a place of empowerment. So be open. Growth always involves change, and Aquarius is an air sign. It is very fast moving and very much about accepting change. So there's going to be excitement. And when you are dealing with what needs to be extricated, you have to be clear on how it got there, that it was some kind of programming previously in your life or lifetimes. So anytime you're focused on lack, where you don't have something, you don't have enough, you don't have what you want, or separation, where you don't feel connected or in the flow or loved, or you feel like you're in a place of limitation where you feel inadequate and unprepared. Those are your signs that you're in your old programming and in a place of fear. So it's very hard to move forward. In fact, it's really impossible when you're in fear to be present and inspired and heart-centered. So those fear programs, they don't exist in your heart. Courage comes when you turn to your heart. Cœur in French means heart. So heart-centered awareness brings the courage to break free. And Aquarius, the sign that Saturn is leaving and Pluto is entering, is really going to be ramped up in the years that Pluto is in Aquarius, which will be through 2044. Your intuition, your inner guidance, your connectivity to the mysteries of the universe, the mysteries of the cosmos, these are going to grow greatly. And this is also due to Saturn in Pisces. Why? Because Pisces represents the mysteries. Pisces is unconditional love. It represents everything. It represents the cosmos, the universe, the God mind. And Saturn in Pisces will make that real because Saturn makes everything real. And the timing of Saturn moving into Pisces while Pluto is cleaning up lack of sense of freedom and making us realize we're sovereign and can totally fly and go on an adventure and experiencing that excitement of being in the moment. That combo of Saturn and Pisces making the unseen mysteries real, the mysteries of the universe real, and Pluto in Aquarius is absolutely amazing. Remember, they both joined together at the beginning of this decade, and Pisces is all about heart. Pisces is about unconditional love, and Saturn and Pisces will instill that courage, that trust, to be open to guidance, to try new things, to be unique. And when you live in your heart where none of those fear programs are running, you have the courage to take steps, to move forward, to explore, to not be swayed or confused or distracted by different thoughts, different approaches, different opinions that are swirling around everywhere right now. You won't be taken off guard. You won't get upset when people think differently, act differently, speak differently, look differently. You don't want to suppress who you are, right? That isn't you, and you will be okay with that, and you will trust what comes through your heart. And then you will see, and this is where Pluto comes in, you will see what you are hiding, what you are keeping from yourself, this glorious expression of love and joy that is there at all times. You know, Pluto at the end of Capricorn is asking you to look where you feel small, or when you do something that you don't enjoy. That's disempowering. Remember, Pluto is about power. So look at those habits now that are keeping you from feeling more passion. Pluto is very, very passionate, and so is Pisces, where Saturn's moving in. Passion comes from your heart. It does not come from your head. If you're in your head, you're in your fear programming. You're not experiencing a lot of passion. So it's very important that you know that what you heal within your heart is sending ripple effects. And that ripple effect is going to be very much enhanced with Saturn and Pisces, because Pisces is the sign that encompasses everything. The water sign that Neptune rules that is about everything. All is experienced in the sign of Pisces because we are all one. And so it's time, Saturn is saying, Saturn and Pisces, it's time that you understand that you are one with everything and everything is one with you, and the ripple effects will impact everyone. So being in a place of goodness and immersing yourself in infinite possibilities and your infinite inner resources, and trusting your feelings and knowing that they give you an indication of energy at all times. Being in a place where you do that will help you innately connect to your inner goodness and not be reactionary. And at the same time, you don't want to abdicate reason. Saturn in Pisces is saying, okay, let's not get into the dream where it's just nebulous, which is the shadow side of Pisces. We want to make this real. We want to be clear. And that means reason will be accompanying you at the same time as inspiration. So you want to wonder, you want to imagine, you want to picture the stars, you want to feel the energy of the cosmos in your heart. And you want to also imagine that you're always in the right place at the right time, and that everything is just as it's meant to be. That your pains can be regenerated, that you can be healed. Because life is energy, and you can receive, you can transmit, you can choose the reality that is pristine. You can create a pristine environment. This is all in your hands. This is the cleansing. This is the healing. So the world is alive. It is pulsing, and it is interacting with you at every given moment. And it is calling to you to rise to new heights of aspiration. What do you aspire to? The world is constantly showing you how to succeed, and the mirror coming back to you is showing you that you must understand how powerful conscious awareness is. This is very important. The Aquarius theme of awakening is awakening to the fact that you're constantly being shown how to succeed by understanding how powerful your conscious awareness is. Your conscious awareness is the key to your heart, the key to living a life of joy and being so present that nothing phases you. So here's the thing: peace of mind, greater abundance, healing, those are all intentions. Friends, support, community, understanding, anything to do with clarity. Right now, make those clear intentions for what you'd like to experience. If you'd like to experience prosperity, set that intention. But be clear about how you feel. It's not a headspace decision. It is about you and your gratitude and your trust in your inner gifts. Remember to always give thanks. Remember that you are the most amazing being of light. And if you want to know how truly empowering you can be on the spiritual realms of conscious awareness, go to my free masterclass at spiritualmasteryclass.com. It will show you the secret to spiritual mastery. It will truly point you in the direction of your heart and allow you to instantly connect with spirit. So enjoy that free masterclass at spiritualmasteryclass.com. Have an incredible week and stay tuned to your heart at all times. Have the courage. Lots of love. I'll see you next week.